I'm not sure that went through. So, hi. Happy Thursday and good afternoon. I'm Rob the accountant. I like to help people build companies while finding solutions to whatever problems may come your way. Talk to me live on Twitch Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Questions, ideas, whatever. Let's talk. And what I was saying before is I'm probably going to work to get this awful water fish tank noise out of my ear here. So not sure how many people are going to be joining today. So I know some of the folks watching later on maybe the YouTube, if they're watching, there's going to be this blank square, and that's really for the Twitch overlay. So the intent is for the questions that come in to be rebroadcast on YouTube so you can see the question and then actually hear the answers. So I'm going to just quickly mute my mic for a moment, and I'm going to go grab some water for this fish tank. All right, I think that's a little bit better. I mean, it's still got a little bit of a noise drip here, so no biggie. So I can't sit and actually do nothing here, so we're just gonna sit and see what's going on here. Maybe over to a couple websites here, see what's going on in the world financially. My goal here is to eventually get some business owners that I can talk to live on the Twitch stream and see if they can offer some insight and advice to that specific industry that owner is working in. So well, nothing important's going on. So that's probably not helpful. Wonder how everybody is doing today. I know maybe some of you guys are at work. I took a poll, didn't get really many votes, but that's okay. In terms of nighttime or daytime, and the consensus on the people that did actually vote was that it was better for the day. So we'll see how that works. I think I'm gonna probably move these desks. The sun comes in through my door and it's creates this awful glare on me. It's okay. Let's see. There we go. So, nothing seems to be happening today in anyone's world. Okay. All right, I will comment on something here. I want to bring it up for you folks to see what I'm talking about. Oh, did I turn off my video capture? Look at this. Insane. I wanted to turn off the Twitch chat. There we go. And of course, I'm going to get an ad on it. So, of course. So, the fiance of a journalist killed in a Florida shooting last month says she's raising money to have the children through artificial insemination after harvesting his sperm immediately following his death. Okay. So, that's really all I want to talk about right there. Okay. First of all, I'm okay. So, he went to the medical coroner. She doesn't have any legal standing because she's a fiance. She's not married to him. And what, she goes to the medical coroner and what, they service him or do they cut his nut out? I mean, and where were his parents on all this? Like his next of kin and everything. Like, where do you just have the right to, you know, my body, my rights. It's for only women, not for men at all. Because could you imagine if a dude lost his wife or his girlfriend, and his first step was to go and pull all her eggs, out of her body, so he could have a baby with her descendants as a surrogate later on in life. Like what that wouldn't that it just would sound crazy, right? Just nuts. But here we go. Once again. And crazy, funny thing in the crazy state of Florida too. Huh? Well, funny. But now, where I think is further point that I'd like to make is it's just not enough that she stole his sperm. She needs money now to do the process. So, which meant that if they were going to have kids, as she said, they hadn't seemed to, through her demands here, have seemed to indicate that she had the money to raise children. And so now she wants all of us to help her not only have the children, and then what? She's going to use the loss to get more money to raise more money for the kid who doesn't have a father because she went through all this process. It's just nonsense, right? It's just totally crazy. And nobody says anything. Nobody. I just want to know. I want to know how this effectuated. Like this would be one of those good things where if you're a lawyer or you're a real journalist, you could subpoena this and figure out how exactly after somebody was killed in a shooting, a fiance of 26 years old is able to jump the next of kin and or convince the parents, right? I mean, that's the other thing. Convince the parents. In that regard, I want you to know, in insurance, when there's life insurance, there's usually all in life insurance companies do not. When there's a death in the family, they don't just instantly pay out. They generally wait 30 days because there's this idea of widow's grief, and it's real. And so, if you give a widow $2 million. First of all, it's a public record generally of the death. So then all the vultures crawl out of the woodwork and they go and they, obviously if they know about the death, they're all going to use marketing pieces relative to the person's death. And, they're going to do all this manipulation. And, they could easily through widow's grief and misery, steal all of her money. It's not this has happened. This is why we have regulations in the insurance market, because these things have happened over and over and over and over again. So they try to do things that minimize the impact of that happening. And generally, the consensus is, I don't know where it came from, that after 30 days, people have enough people around them or enough time to digest that. And then there's the idea that it's their money anyway. So it just... I just like here, this is on the night of the death, the idea of her harvesting his sperm was brought up to her by Lion's mother. And I don't know, and you don't know, but I'm just saying, again, I tell folks I got children and stuff. So on the night of their violent death, right? 24-year-old child, young adult child. The first thing they talk about is, let's grab some sperm. That's what they say. Let's grab some sperm. Let's go knock off a nut from them. And, she doesn't even understand what she's saying, because she says being a father was all Dylan talked about. Okay, well, he's not here anymore, right? So he can't be a father anymore. So why would you damn his heirs, his children, to either be raised as a single mom, okay? And anyone could talk what they want on it. There's a couple good instances where single moms they make it work for their children. There's a lot of good stories, a lot of success, but that's not the majority. It's generally harder for any single parent to raise a child on their own, let alone mothers tend to have a little bit more a harder time. So her heirs, or the children that she's going to have these babies with, who's no longer here because he's dead, she's going to they're going to have one mom, right? So they're going to grow up knowing their dad was killed in this violent aftermath and just be angry and because they don't have anybody there, right? Or what you gonna do? Go get married, and then they're gonna have a stepfather, and it just, it's just people don't take the time to really think these things through, and then they go out in the media, and I think this is Huffington Post, and I'm still not sure why my ad is not coming off of that. It's kind of irking me, but that's okay. I talked about it, so that's the way it is. She immediately contacted doctors about collecting and freezing his sperm, with there being a narrow window where sperm can be salvageable for in vitro fertilization after the host's death. A doctor agreed to the procedure and was able to retrieve 8 vials of his sperm, which she told Good Morning America she'll keep frozen until she recovers physically and emotionally from her grief, well enough to complete a pregnancy. Ugh. Now she's got grief, people. Now she's got grief. She's insured her future perfectly fine. Completely selfish, 1,000% selfish. I'm so important. I gotta play God. I gotta tell these people that we're gonna have these babies. I gotta bring these children in the world. Who gives a shit about anybody else? Who gives a shit they won't have a father? None of that matters. It's all about me, and she's gonna have the right now to destroy children's lives, right? Because that's what she's gonna do, And there's no good outcome from what she wants to do here. There's no good outcome. So I'm with my kids. I think we all need parenting tests before we have parents. A lot of things that go along with being a parent that a lot of us don't have or know. We just don't. So I'm gonna take this browser off because it didn't do me any good whatsoever. But you guys can find the story. It's on Huffington Post. Slain reporter's fiance raising funds to have his children via IVF because she's a raging lunatic. It's just that simple. All right. Insane. See, my chat's back now. There it is. My chat's back. Man, I really wish some people would drop in. I can't imagine this. There's so many business filings. So like for me locally as an accountant, my state of New York and my county has a database that allows us to cycle all the DBAs, corporations, LLCs, partnerships, anything that's been filed from a business perspective. And so generally, a lot of other people doing this too. They go and they cycle those datas, and they send out whatever they're trying to market to those new groups of businesses. I do it about 10% of the time. I used to be a little bit more heavy on it. But the one thing I've also realized with that group is that generally when you're at the early stages of formation, you just don't have a lot of money. So the last thing you really want is 100 people showing up all trying to sell you something when you haven't made any money. So, and unless there's a need for something, I generally leave that group alone right now. It's the first time I kicked on the stream manager within the Twitch screen. Pretty cool. I had a little bit of a delay. You have to work on that. It's eerie. It says I got one viewer. I gotta say some thanks to the one viewer. It's all good. You can't take things. You can't take things too serious in life. You can't take yourself too seriously. I don't have a lot of patience though. I'm a very impatient person. And I'm not impatient in terms of waiting for something. Like if I need to wait for something for 8 or 9 weeks, I'm fine with that. But I'm impatient with idiocy. It's difficult sometimes to go out and do things and just to get simple answers about simple questions. And when it takes 30 minutes to answer a simple question, I become frustrated because I feel like then what's happening is people are they're yanking me. And there's going to be some cost analysis off of it taking so long to give me an answer to a simple question. So sometimes it's just simple works better. And you know what? I am going to do that for you folks, okay? So as we move forward and maybe I get some followers here, people who start watching, I'm going to give it to you easy, simple. If it's complex, I'm going to tell you why it's complex. I get told a lot I talk too much. I talk too much because sometimes I want to make sure that you have all the information, or the person I'm dealing with in front of me has all the information so that they can make a choice. Because when I was young, and did happen, we don't know anything, and people are always, money's important. And if you don't take the time to digest what people are telling you, they're gonna get your money. And I know everyone thinks we're making a whole bunch of money now, but that's inflation. We're really should cut the money in half. So if you're making $80,000, you're making 40, and if you're making 100, you're making 50, because that's what that buys today. That's really what it buys, nothing more. Gas is $5 a gallon. It's $2.50 and $2.50. So it used to be $2.50. It's double. So you have to take that equation into it. And what's the thing that I think that did it all? I'll tell you, fucking minimum wage. This idea that you are stuck at minimum wage is a crock of shit. Bullshit. Minimum wage is for all the teenagers, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. That whole 10-year gap while you're in college, when you don't know what the fuck you're doing. We're all there. And because you don't know what you're doing, you don't really work hard at whatever you're doing. Those are just facts. So minimum wage gave you a little bit of, I'm going to work harder, I got to pull in more hours, blah, blah, blah. But what it was is a guaranteed job. It's very difficult to not get a job at a minimum wage place. And when you say that you need that to be a minimum wage that is a livable wage, well, if the livable wage is $20 an hour, what's the good wage then? 50? 60? You see what happens? It pushes everything else up. All right? Because Wegmans now used to employ 3 people. I say Wegmans. Wegmans here in New York State is a local grocery market. They're really famous. And why they're important is because they're still a private company. They haven't been sold to private equity. They haven't gone public. They're very wealthy, and they do a hell of a good job. Probably one of the best grocery stores in the country, in the world. But the facts is they used to, for $15 an hour, employ 3 people. So they've got a choice. They can continue to employ 1 person, right? But if they want to employ 2 or 3, the second and third, which they had been doing, they have to either sell more product, right? And then they got to, have these people work hard enough or within enough functioning operations to generate the money to pay them, to pay for the food that they're buying and pay for the food that they're selling. And when you've tripled their costs now for the same labor class, then coffee goes up to $10 a can. These are not the people who scream the loudest always seem to get the most. But I know this. I wouldn't pay minimum wage. I don't run an organization that is a minimum wage organization. It's harder to pay other accountants. They want lots of money, and that's okay because that's what they've earned, and that's what they go to school for, and that's what they work for. But you got to just half the money, people, and what you're making, cut it in half because it's got no purchasing power. And that's why I want more of you to jump on this channel, because the truth of the matter is 90% of the U.S. government is powered by small businesses. There are more small businesses than there are in America than there are probably people in other countries. The idea that people can build something, generate wealth, and leave it to somebody is probably the most sought after desire in the world. We know this because that's why they come from China. That's why they come from Mexico. That's why they come from Russia. That's why they come from everywhere, even the G8, because we allow you to make a ton of money and you get to keep it. And through a clever scheme of whatever you want to call, the government empowers businesses to do it just a little bit better or to their advantage, so that they can go out and buy more things and generate the economy. So there's a reason for this madness, but that's it. It's just, we're here. I'm here, and I'm gonna be here for 45 weeks of the year, and I might be late a couple times because I generally work late at night. That's when I can actually get paperwork done. A lot of my life is just out there talking with folks like you, listening to ideas, and seeing what input I can give to these folks to just make their life even 2 or 3% better going forward. You know, everybody wants to tear you down. Look at Tucker Carlson, you know, Fox News. Okay, I get it. It's about money. How do you make money? Generate division. But doesn't there come a certain point in time where you have to live in the world that you create? And if you make everybody angry every day, and then instead of showing people the beauty of their lives and what they can achieve if they stop listening to everybody else and jump out of the noise, people would be happier. I believe, and I will continue to always believe, accounting-wise, statistics-wise, economic-wise, the more people that have real money, the better a society does. The more that society consolidates all the wealth into a few hands, the worse that society is going to do. And the gap between the billionaires and people like you and me during the pandemic probably increased another 50%. Because you know why? Walmart didn't shut down. The liquor distributors didn't shut down. None of the fuel shut down. Nothing shut down that affected any of their pockets. The only thing that shut down was the shit that affected your pocket, right? So, funny how that works out. Mark Zuckerberg didn't lose a damn dime. Neither did Mark Cuban. And moron Musk is, well, we'll talk another day about moron Musk. I don't really give a crap. He's an idiot. Electric cars are the dumbest shit in the world. We should be on the hydrogen thing, like the Italians and like the rest of the world. I think they've solved the fuel issue with compressed tanks. I really do. But electricity is the stupidest thing in the world. It's not clean. You burn a fucking shit ton of fucking coal. Yeah, that's right. Fucking coal. Or more natural gas, coal or natural gas. You burn something else to make another electricity. It's just stupid. So, but we'll talk about more on Musk. Every company that he touches, literally. And let's not, we don't want to give him the right of saying that he has a disability or that there's some form of genius that makes him like that. No, there's not. There's tons of CEOs in America, millions of them, okay? Very competent, probably a hell of a lot smarter. If you had $200 or $300 million, I promise you'd probably be able to grow it the same way. Money grows money. Don't let them fool you. You ain't growing shit with fucking 10 grand in the bank, okay? That's bullshit. The $100,000 life insurance policy, that ain't doing shit for you. You can't compound money on that. That's like pennies. So you're gonna make pennies on pennies. So you're gonna go nowhere. But you throw $5 or $10 million at your way, you will make another $5 or $10 million. It's not different. The bank is gonna give you, 50 grand just to put $1 million of it right in the bank off the jump. So there's $50,000 a year. You're just not even doing shit. So, but I don't know how you can take Tesla, a company at $500 a share, and tank it down to $110 a share. Well, I do, because you're a complete moron. you're a moron. I mean, here's the problem with people like Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and really any tyrant, Ron DeSantis, my governor, unfortunately, is there's this idea that people like me and you want to listen to them. We don't want to listen to nobody, do we? I don't want to listen to nobody. Do you want to listen to somebody? I don't want to listen to nobody. Who wants to get up every day and have a nanny tell them what to do? But somewhere along the line, which, by the way, all these people I named, Trump, Ron DeSantis, my governor, Hochul, I think she's the one that didn't. She didn't go to Ivy Leagues. I'm not sure. I don't want to be dismissive if she did, so I just haven't researched her. Because up until Cuomo getting kicked out, she really, there wasn't a consideration that Governor Hochul was going to be the next future governor. So I'm happy that she is the next governor and that we've elected a woman in the state. I don't know if not her. I don't know if there was another one. And the last guy certainly wasn't going to do anything to make life easier for anybody in the state. But when you look at moron Musk and tyrant Ron, and I think Trump's funny personally. He's done a lot of awful things to other people. He universally hates everybody. So I'm not going to go out there and plug him as just being a jerk to one group of people. He's a jerk to everybody. Okay, he's about himself. But Musk, he wants the world to think that we're all going to go into a computer. I tell folks, I think he hates God. He hates some form of creationism, and he's very dismissive of you, the people who made Tesla. He's dismissive of the people who built the rockets. He's dismissive of the people who had the technology before him. He's dismissive of the ideas before him. He's dismissive of the knowledge set and the people that came before him that brought these ideas, the ability for him to have the ability to take his millions of dollars and turn it into billions of dollars. That's what he's dismissive of. I applaud his genius for everything else. I think it's great that he built Tesla. It's a fabulous company. The people who work there, he's got some problems with some of the people. Obviously, there's some lawsuits that are proceeding. And, his total destruction of Twitter under a complete fake guise, it wasn't about free speech. It was never about free speech. It's about his speech. He wants to control his speech. But where do you come off in life so much thinking that out of 8 fucking billion people, think about that, 8 billion people in the world, and you're one person, and you think out of all their problems, in some countries they don't got no fucking water and no food, and in other countries their money is pesos, and it's 20,000 pesos to buy a loaf of bread. In another country, cartels are controlling stuff, and they were supposed to care about your jet life. You know what I mean? We're supposed to care about your pretentious kids because they can run all over the country on golf course. And, we're supposed to be thrilled and happy because while we're busting our ass every day, you're just spending the taxpayers' money without any regard to anything because you think we're the peasants below you. Well, where I come from, the American Revolution was fought to stop tyranny and privilege. And I always say, it's funny that we got rid of the titles of kings and princesses and knights, and we replaced them with different titles: senators, house members, legislators, supervisors, mayors, council members. And each title, it goes right to their freaking head. I'm so important now. You should see some of the planning boards in New York State to get a building permit. Holy fucking shit. A bunch of geriatric motherfuckers, always over 60 years old, stifling development. There's a fucking housing crisis in New York. It's not because of land. We got a fucking ton of land. You could just drive hours upon hours upon hours upon hours and see land. In fact, to give you a statistic, apparently you can fit the whole world's population in the state of Louisiana. I know I said it wrong. I always do. Whatever. We're not all perfect. But there is so much land in New York. But we have a housing crisis. Think about that. We have a housing crisis because every single town has 7 members that sit on a board who make $50,000-$60,000 a year, and they got to justify their existence by causing grief to my life and your life. And so part of this channel is also directing you to how we would handle those things for our clients and our businesses, because you're going to run into these problems and you're going to create those networks and cultivate those relationships that help you avoid all this bureaucracy and just keep your mission moving forward in a way that helps you make money, keeps your employees happy, makes your life happy, and gives you good times for everybody. So, did they pause my chat? I have 3 new messages? No, I don't. Oh, that was my messages. All right, well, I think I did another hour. It's like 45 minutes. You know, I'm just going to keep coming, guys. And sooner or later, somebody's going to drop on this channel. And they're going to have some questions. And I'm going to show you how to make some money and have a little bit more freedom. Enjoy your life a little bit more. I always end up looking this way because it's nice outside and, you know, it's beautiful out there. And it's got little squirrelies on the deck and stuff. So, you know, I need to look here. And my camera's off center because I got this cheap piece of shit webcam because, you know, nice cameras are $2,000. Not really a prudent buy right now. I got other things going on. So soon to get a better camera here. But right now, you know, I'm here for you. And I want you to ask questions and engage, because that's what we used to do. You know, on a side note, funny story, like to have funny stories. But when I went to the DMV with certain young adults these days, they don't know how to sign their name. And it's weird because we don't have cursive in classes no more, so we don't know, you know. Somewhere along the line, you have to ask somebody, what was the benefit for not learning how to properly write? Like, we still have to communicate, so I don't know. So I do call it an accounting channel. Yes, that would be fair. Do you have a question? Well, hello. I just been ranting, so Pitch Invader. That's a cool name, actually. Well, so in any event, you know, I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12 to 2. This is the second day. I'm not sure I'd be opposed to that idea. I think the 10K might be a little bit over a bunch of people's heads. And I guess really I'm more like, so I'm a controller would be the title, next to accountant. So I'm more really concerned with, you know, how you bring your organization to the market. The investing world that's a little bit. So I actually got some videos on YouTube with, I think you should be at a certain level of monetary income and be comfortable before you start throwing your money out at that market. I would rather you take the money that you have now and help yourself. So I'm not sure that would be appropriate form, but I would like to. I would think it would be great. Like so on the streaming, it would be great to do the streaming and say, let's go over the 10K together and have various inputs. Because I think when people do read the 10Ks for investing purposes, people can interpret those numbers in different manners, and I think that's good. So how I might see things is strictly from a conservative, not risk position, where you may see it as, well, maybe your position is wrong on the conservative side. This is actually meets your definition. And I think in that regard, that would be a better conversation than just trying to dissect the 10Ks and give people indications one way or another. I can't stand Cramer. I can't stand Jim Cramer on CNBC. He just, him and Kevin McCarthy, Mr. Wonderful, they're such shrills. I would like to count how many people lost money following their advice. So I just don't, that's the only reason why I wouldn't want to be directing someone one way or another, because I don't want to be the guy to help people lose their money. I mean, it's great when you help people win and double their money, but I got a bunch of guys in the investment markets, and they're on the golf course every Friday. I'm not sure their customers always have the same account to affect the same type of lifestyle, but I would love to have the discussion with you. So if you can, inverse Kramer, I like that. You know what? I'm gonna check that one out. Okay, maybe there's a YouTube on that, but it's question or ask a question. You know what? I don't normally give out the email, but it's on robtheaccountant.com, my actual single page site. Question at Rob the Accountant. If you just send me your contact information, I can send you a Twitch invite, and let's just see where it goes. Like, I don't think everything has to be programming. There's no Seinfeld on TV. By the way, I am old, so I used to watch King of the Hill on the Cartoon Channel, and they took that away. I'm just like so tired of everything being programmed. You got to have a perfect lighting and makeup and all this stuff. First of all, dudes shouldn't even be wearing makeup, okay, on TV. Just whatever. I know the lighting and stuff, but this stuff's not good for your face. So I like more spontaneous, just let it go and let the world see where it goes, because we're all human beings, and no one is 100% perfect in their knowledge base. So you have a great day too. I appreciate you stopping by, and thanks for giving me a cheer today. Thanks for number 1 or 2, whichever one you are. Thank you. Have a good day. Well, I guess that's a nice way to end the note out. I appreciate that. Inverse Kramer. I like that. Inverse Kramer. Courtesy of a Twitch fan. I love it. It's hilarious. It's true. Do the opposite of everything that Jim Cramer says. There was a time where he had a heart and he cared. I don't want to be dismissive. I'm not impugning one's character. I don't want, liable or whatever he wants. I'm just saying it just, walking back things so much. The shrilling for the crypto. The crypto never... We'll talk about that actually on Tuesday. We'll get into the crypto. If it's an additional currency like PayPal, okay, or Zelle or Cash App, then there's no speculation, right? Because it's just a payment method. So I never really understood why people were shrilling crypto as this investment market where you buy into it and then your money jumps. And I always said, well, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Here's the deal. I'm going to give you a $10 fucking bill and you give me a $20 bill. And who fucking wins there? Is it me or is it you? Because that's what crypto wants you to believe, that money, just because it's a method of payment or a means of transactional process, is going to somehow grow in value. You know what? Are you guys shopping in the same country I'm shopping in? The fucking dollar bill is, it's tanking. That's why gas is $5 a gallon. So, how am I going to suddenly be in a crypto market and the same $5 that's tanking with the real $5 bill is suddenly going to be worth $10 10 years lay it down the road? The whole thing is built on lies. And those lies, though, unfortunately cost a lot of people a ton of money, billions. All those people who just, they put their faith, their money, their time, their effort, their lives just to have a little one up. 1 or 2%. They see everyone running around with planes and automobiles and nice cars and nice TVs, and they're just like, I'm going to take 5 cents and put it somewhere. And then they get screwed. I'm Rob the Accountant. We're going to talk about crypto on Tuesday. Thanks for stopping by. And I hope to grow the channel. I hope you guys jump in and ask more questions as soon as you can.